Good morning. Barry Bryson here. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. We are continuing our study of the Gospel of Matthew, and today we're in Matthew chapter 20, and we're in verse 20. Now, Jesus has just told us twice that the last will be first and the first will be last. He's going to demonstrate the truth of that statement in his own life at the end of the passage we're going to read today. Jesus has also just said, I'm about to drink a bitter cup. I'm about to be taken, falsely accused, falsely convicted, tortured, and murdered. And I'm going to be raised the third day. That's what's about to happen to me. But they haven't listened to him. Verse 20. Then there's that connecting word that lets you know this happened in the moment. Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee came to him with her sons, bowing down and making a request of him. And he said to her, What do you wish? And she said to him, Command that in your kingdom these 2 sons of mine may sit one on your right and one on your left. Now how amazing is that? She commanded him to command. I mean, this is a command, isn't it? She didn't say, may I please request. She told him, like his mother did in John chapter 2, do it. Command that they sit on your right hand and your left. Jesus answered and said, You do not know what you're asking for. Are you able to drink the cup that I am able to drink? And they said to him, We are. And he said to them, My cup you shall drink. But sit on my right hand, to sit on my right hand and my left, this is not mine to give. It is for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father. After hearing this, the 10 became indignant at the 2 brothers, as of course they would. Jesus called them to himself and said, You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and that great men exercise authority over them. It is not so among you. Whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you shall be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many. This is also reported in Mark chapter 10. Jesus has said the last will be first and the first will be last, and he's applied it in a variety of ways, but the overarching theme is this. If you want to be great in the kingdom, you have to be the servant of everybody. If you want to be first, you will make yourself last. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up, James says. Humble yourselves before the mighty hand of God, and he will exalt you at the proper time, Peter says. They listened that day, and they learned that it was true, but they didn't get it on that day. Why James and John's mother? They're grown men. How ridiculous is that their mommy has to take them to Jesus? They're grown men with their own boat fishing, and now they're the apostles of Jesus Christ. Peter, James, and John they've been everywhere with Jesus. And they got their mom to go ask this for them? Is this just her? I don't think so, because they're in it too. Are you ready? We're ready. We're ready. Are you ready to drink the cup? They did. They did. The first apostle to die was James. The last apostle to die was John. And they neither one died of natural causes. James was beheaded in the book of Acts by Herod. And John was worked to death as a quarry slave on the island of Patmos as a very old man, maybe even pushing 100 years old, we're not sure. So they did. They were called upon to drink the cup that Jesus drank. And then Jesus says this intriguing thing. Jesus says, are you prepared to, he says, to grant that you sit on my right hand or left is not mine to give, but the Father's, the one for whom he has prepared it. As if there are people in God's mind that will be actually there. on the right and left hand of Jesus. We are given no more information, and therefore, although it may be intriguing, and we may spend a moment or two speculating about this, it is of no probative value for our Christian lives. And so please, none of you, spend 5 years researching this and writing a book about it, because it doesn't matter. What does matter is it was not Jesus to grant, and so their request is denied. Or at least this part of it was. And then when the apostles, the rest of the apostles, get upset with them for making this request and bringing their mommy in to do it for them, as indeed they would, Jesus says, guys, you're not any of you getting this. And this is one of those times, and we've seen him do it multiple times in Matthew's gospel. Jesus does it in Matthew's gospel quite deliberately more than any other gospel. He names a Western value. This is the way the Gentiles do it, and you're not going to do it that way. I didn't raise you this way. Among the Gentiles, they give value to people because of the role that they play. And if you're an important dude, then you get perks and you get to have things other people don't get. Jesus has already talked about the way God distributes unevenly resources and gifts, and that's his prerogative. And the resources that we have to share, not to question God about them. And now he's saying, listen, the role that you play does not determine your value, and you can't value each other or yourselves that way. If you want to be Mr. Big Shot, then get on your knees and serve, and scrub floors and wash feet. Because that's what I do. I didn't come here for you to serve me. I came here to be your servant. And if you're going to be my disciple, you're going to be the same way. And this is a Western value that we hold so tightly to, that Jesus is out and out rejected for the kingdom. And when we are motivated by it, are shaped by it, we are defining ourselves as not being disciples. When we think, oh, he's more valuable or she's more valuable because they get to do this, or they get to play that role, or they get to be the big shot, or God doesn't love me as much because he didn't give me this and he gave them that. Why am I not gifted in this way? Why don't I have more when they have so much and they're not even nice? Anytime we indulge those thoughts and allow them to make us bitter with others and bitter with God, we have defined ourselves as not disciples. Because in the kingdom, none of that matters. In the kingdom, there's neither male, female, Jew, Greek, bond, or free, but we're all one in Christ Jesus. And those are the facts. And when we think that way, we deny Jesus himself. Because Jesus came and born to a working class family and lived a peripatetic life without enjoying any of the comforts that wealth offered, and without exercising the kind of authority that rulers had, and devoted his entire existence, emptied himself, Philippians chapter 2, of all that was God to be us so that he could give his life for us. That's what he did. And to be a disciple of Jesus is to be willing to be the servant of all, because that's what Jesus did. Well, those are clear words and strong words that we need to listen to, and I've taken nearly 10 good minutes today. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes. We will finish chapter 20 next time.